Yes, guys, welcome back to AGTV. Welcome back to brand new video. We have some big news on Jurrien. Mikel Arteta has named him as part of the UCL squad that will take Arsenal in the round of 16, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and possibly the final if we can keep on winning games in that competition and keep on the good form that we've actually displayed ever since we stepped into the UEFA Champions League. We'll be talking about the boost that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta gets when Tomiyasu, who's coming back very, very soon, by the way, is back. Jurrien and Thomas Partey, and the title race as well has been blown wide open. Liverpool fans out there are really fuming about Arsenal beating them because they think we have just destroyed their chances of winning the Premier League. Even when we are not going to win it, they think we are not a capable side. They think the title race is between Liverpool and Manchester City, and they are absolutely furious that a team that is not really willing to go toe-to-toe with Manchester City has actually gone and beaten them, and now they stand a chance of losing the title on another fourth consecutive time to Manchester City. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. It's a channel, it's a podcast, wherever you want to call it. And of course, if you're an African Ghana, this is your place to find the best content in Africa on YouTube when it comes to Arsenal. Right, so let's get into it. Mikel Arteta, which is the big story, has named Jurrien as part of the UCL squad that is going to be taking Arsenal into the later competitions of the UCL. So that's going to be the round of 16. That's going to be the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, and possibly the final if we can actually get there. Many people have said Arsenal favorites to win it. Not only favorites, but we are among the favorites to win it. So if we are among the favorites and we are already on the round of 16, I bet we have not actually disappointed that much. If anyone is really disappointed with what we've done so far, they're just haters. I think we've done well in the UEFA Champions League. But that is a big story on Jurrien. He is back. He's back in the squad, and I know there is some time for him to come back to playing with Arsenal. There is some time for us to see him, but then the UCL campaign doesn't restart until the 17th of this month, and that means that Jurrien still has some time to do his rehab, to get back in training, soft training, hard training, and real physical training before we can actually see him in this Arsenal jersey again. And I don't think he's going to play in the round of 16. I don't expect him to take part in the FC Porto games. That could come a little bit too early for him, but it's such a massive boost for Mikel Arteta. It is such a massive boost for Arsenal, because for me, the Champions League is all about what you can do on the night. It's not about the Premier League. Listen, Arsenal have won 3 of their last 3 games in the Premier League after losing 3 of our last 3, and that has actually put us in a position where we are now 2 points behind Liverpool, level points with Manchester City, although they have a game in hand. And that is the beauty of the Premier League. It's a marathon. If you make amends, you can actually come back in the calculations. Mathematically, it is alive until it is dead. With the Champions League, it is one night away. It is one night at home, and then you're gone. If we play FC Porto and we lose, away, and we come at the Emirates Stadium and draw, we are out of the fucking competition. So I think Jurrien is a big boost to Mikel Arteta, and he's a very, very big boost for Arsenal if we want to go anywhere in the Champions League this campaign. Defensively, we have seen the best sides in the Champions League. They score goals for fun, but they are also very, very strong defensively. You look at that Borussia Dortmund side that reached the Champions finals, I think it was 2012, before Bayern beating them. Defensively, the likes of Matt Hummels, they built a very good defensive unit. You look at Inter Milan 2010, you look at Inter Milan last campaign, you've got to defend well. The likes of Skriniar, the likes of Bastoni, they provided a very good defensive shield. So I think that is one of the things Arsenal can use in this competition to actually further our chances of winning it. We are defensively astute. We are defensively disciplined. I think Saliba, although he's making a few mistakes this campaign, which are being covered by Gabriel, is still a very good centre back. And Gabriel this season has been immensely good. So with Jurrien coming back, that means that you eliminate the liability of Alexander Zinchenko at left back, and Tomiyasu coming back as well. That guarantees us an extra defensive body at right back, centre back, and even left back as well. So Jurrien Timber, for me, this is a big story. But also it's a big story for the player as well, because I was reading somewhere, I think this was last week when I was not reporting anything on these channels, and it was showing that Jurrien Timber was a little bit disappointed and demotivated, because he thought he would be coming back into full training as early as February, as early as early Feb. And the medical team, the physio team at Arsenal actually decided against that. They told him, you're going to get some time off, you're going to be more away than available. He wasn't happy with that. He wasn't very convinced about the decisions that were made, and he was a little bit unhappy and demotivated. So seeing himself included back in the squad, this is going to be a motivation. This is going to be a big part of his career, especially this campaign. He's going to train harder. He's going to push harder. He's already done well, right? For an injury that we talked about coming back in August, him coming back in September, for the fact that we're talking about coming back in February, coming back in March, it's top. It's top level mentality from a top player for me, and I think for all the fans out there asking me, Cossy, do you think we shall see Jurrien Timber again this campaign? There is your message. There is your part of the answer from Mikel Arteta. He has put him in the UCL squad, and he says, listen, if you are fit, you're one of the best players in this team. You're definitely going to play. But if you're not fit, definitely I'm not gonna play you, but I put you in the squad, so it's gonna determine, are you fit to play in these games or are you not fit? And for me, I'm very sure if Arsenal can keep on defending the way we defend, scoring goals the way we scored, not at a very high rate like City and Liverpool or Madrid, right? But if we can keep on scoring those 2-3 goals, especially at home, defend well away, because that is one of the things we do very well. I think knockout competitions, especially those that have a home and away leg, are going to be a piece of cake for Mikel Arteta's teams. They're going to be a piece of cake for Mikel Arteta, because that's the Champions League. It's all about winning at your home ground and don't lose at the opponent's home ground. So if you went to the Santiago Bernabeu right now and you picked up a 1-1 draw or a 2-2 draw, right, and you came to the Emirates Stadium and you won that game by 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, you have progressed, right? The away goals rule is over, is out of this place, so it's all about the aggregate of the result. Okay, so that is the big news on Jurrien Timber. And I tell you what, the title race now has been blown very, very open, and Mikel Arteta has been handed a major boost when it comes to his squad. Listen, you have Timber, you have Thomas Partey, and you have Tomiyasu all coming back this February and probably March as well. And they're coming back at a time where Arsenal's hopes have actually been revived. They're coming back at a time where Arsenal's hopes of challenging for the Premier League and even challenging for the Champions League have actually been given another energy kind of boost, right? So we are now 2 points behind Liverpool, and we're maybe 3 points behind Man City because they have a game in hand, and I know they will beat Brentford at the Etihad Stadium. There's no question about that. But what is interesting here is that Arsenal are playing on 3 wheels, and I'm not going to say this, in a bad way. We are playing on 3 wheels. We are playing without Timber. We are playing without Tomiyasu. We are playing without Partey, right? And we are playing without a striker, guys. We are actually playing on 2 wheels. So this is a major boost. This is a massive boost for Mikel Arteta, especially. I don't know what he's going to focus on more. Is he going to focus on the Champions League? Because for me, that is a little bit easier than the Premier League. It's a stupid statement to say, really. But why I think it's easier? Look, the marathon is not over. The marathon has just begun. And Man City, Liverpool, they know how to win the last 10 games. Arsenal do not know how to win the last 10 games. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think Arsenal are going to are going to win 14 games out of the last 15. If we do, we definitely walk away with the lead, right? We've beaten Liverpool, so our last 15 games, there are around 5 opponents that you have to be concerned about. You have Brighton in there, and Aston Villa in there, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Tottenham Hotspur, and maybe Newcastle. That's around 7 teams that you've got to be concerned about. So out of the 7 teams that you've got to be concerned about, can Arsenal beat 6 of them? And if we can beat 6 of them and draw 1, and then beat the remaining teams that look like easy points, West Ham, Burnley, Luton, Wolverhampton Wanderers, if we can beat those, then you never know. We could have ourselves a title that we were not planning on getting. But the important bit for Mikel Arteta is that he's going to have another wheel added on his card. He's going to have another wheel added onto this voyage, right? And that could be Tomiyasu, Timber, and Thomas Partey. For me, defensively, I still trust Arsenal, and I still believe that if we win the league this season, which is now a little bit difficult, but if we win the league this season, it's going to be because of our defensive ability. It's going to be because of our defensive discipline and the way we just show teams that we are not scared of them. The way we just show teams that we don't care who you are. We are going to beat you, and we are going to beat you well, right? So defensively, I think Tomiyasu and Timber will give us that extra bit of reliable defensive output. With Timber at right back, he's a good tackler, he's a very good passer of the ball, and he will initiate moves. But also in midfield, it means that Thomas Partey and Declan Rice can have a little bit more of freedom to go forward and kind of pin the opponents in, because you have a Jurrien Timber who can play in that single lonely deeper role, especially in midfield. With Thomas Partey, it is inexplicable how we miss him. It is inexplicable how we badly want him. And I think the rival fans will not understand this because they don't watch Arsenal every single day, every single weekend. But if you want to understand why Arsenal miss Partey, you've got to objectively analyze how Jorginho was superb against Liverpool. And why I say objectively, of course, it's a very, very subjective channel. It's a very subjective show. We are Arsenal, and we love Arsenal, and we are always going to be, subjective, and we are always going to be deluded about a team. Someone told me that Arsenal is the most deluded fan base, and I said we love a team, and we are deluded because we think this team is good. We think every single year we think we have a good team to challenge, and the clubs that are not deluded, they are clubs that they're fans that don't believe in their clubs. So for me, with Thomas Partey, what actually brings out his significance in this team was our ability to use Jorginho and Declan Rice against Liverpool. Imagine if there was Thomas Partey. Imagine if that was Partey and Rice in that midfield pivot. That would have been very different. That would have been a different game. That would have been a special game, right? So Thomas Partey coming back as well, especially in the Champions League. When you play clubs like Real Madrid that have this superb midfield, when you have Partey and Jorginho and Declan Rice, I think in terms of the midfield, there are not so many teams that are going to match that. Man City can match that because they have a cheat code in Kevin De Bruyne and a cheat code in Rodri, for me, who is the best defensive midfielder we have seen, aside from, Sergio Busquets in Spain. But getting Partey back gives us an advantage, an added, competitive advantage against a couple of teams. I think Partey and Rice obliterate Porto. I think Partey and Rice can ease past a club like Inter Milan. Maybe not ease, but we can challenge Inter Milan and we can give them a run for their money, and we can actually knock them out with that, with that trio back. So I want to see how this actually affects us. I want to see how Jurrien Timber's coming back will emotionally and mentally boost this team, because I know he's one of the most trusted players. He's been there for a very short period of time, but him and Declan Rice are some of the most trusted parts of this team. Players love them, fans love them, the manager absolutely trusts them. So does that mean that Arsenal have an added advantage to the Premier League and the Champions League? I think we have added a single piece of a single block, some significant block to where we are going to be at, I don't think we are necessarily going to be the team to beat in either competition, but I think we can make ourselves the dark horses, and we can make ourselves the underdogs that are hard to beat, like South Africa in the African Cup of Nations. Like, you expect them to be knocked out at every single stage, and somehow they just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. So for me, Arsenal have to focus on every single game now. Keep on going, keep on winning until all the doubters are now scared that we might actually run away with the UEFA Champions League. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. It's the African Gunners TV, AGTV. It has come to replace Cossy's Arsenal podcast, which many people actually love, but I think I wanted something more inclusive. We wanted something more inclusive. We wanted to rebrand to something that many people actually understand and will resonate with. And therefore, African Gunners TV is here. All the support is well much appreciated. I'll speak to you right in the next one, and that might possibly be tomorrow.